Jordan Hale always believed the galaxy was far bigger than anyone on Earth understood, but he never imagined he would witness the day when every major alien power began whispering about his home world. He worked as a fleet analyst in the Earth Defense Council, a quiet job full of numbers, patterns, and predictions. Most days were calm and predictable, but everything changed the moment he began to see the strange data reports coming in from the outer rim. Alien factions were talking about humans, not openly, not in official channels, but through intercepted messages, coded exchanges, and private transmissions. Jordan read them all, and one thing stood out in every message: fear. None of the major alien powers had ever faced humans in a true conflict, yet they acted as if humanity was a sleeping beast waiting to wake. Jordan sat alone in his small office, surrounded by hollow screens filled with moving lines of text. His eyes were tired, but his mind stayed sharp. He leaned forward as another flagged transmission came through. It was from the Dominion, one of the most aggressive species in the region. Their message was short but heavy with warning. If humans enter the border conflict, our fleets must avoid direct confrontation. Avoid humans, Jordan frowned. Earth had never thrown its fleet into the Outer Rim wars. They stayed neutral, focused on defense. So why did these factions feel threatened? He pushed back in his chair and looked at the ceiling. Something did not make sense. Fear usually grew from experience, but humans had no battle history with them. The galaxy feared a force it had never seen in action. While Jordan tried to connect the pieces, Commander Lily Hart stood on the top floor of the Earth Defense Headquarters, staring out at the massive city below. She was calm, focused, and always ready to handle whatever the galaxy tried to throw at Earth. Her uniform was perfectly pressed, her dark hair pulled back neatly, and her presence carried quiet strength. Lily had read the same reports Jordan had. She knew the galaxy was becoming unstable, and she felt pressure building like a storm waiting to explode. The Outer Rim had been fighting for months. Factions claimed territory, destroyed colonies, and pushed their borders further every week. Earth had managed to stay out of it, but that peace felt fragile. She placed her hands behind her back and took a deep breath. Humans were not new to conflict, but war among the stars was different. Other species fought with strategies humans had not yet fully studied. Aliens had centuries of experience with large-scale interstellar battles. So why were they afraid of humans? Her thoughts were interrupted by a soft beep. She turned to see a message from Jordan requesting a meeting. She smiled slightly. Jordan was quiet, young, and serious, but he had a mind that could see patterns others missed. If he wanted a meeting, it meant he found something important. When she arrived in his office, Jordan stood quickly and straightened his posture. "Commander Hart," he said, nervous but determined, "I think something is happening in the Outer Rim that concerns us more than we thought." Lily stepped closer. "Show me." Jordan opened a series of reports, each showing intercepted messages from different species. He explained how the factions were not only watching humans, but actively planning around the possibility of human involvement. "They talk about us like we're already part of the war," Jordan said, "but we haven't sent any ships, not a single one." Lily studied the messages. "They're preparing for us. Why?" Jordan nodded. "That's the question. Either they know something we don't, or they believe humans are far stronger than we realize." For a moment, silence filled the room. Lily thought carefully. She remembered old diplomatic meetings she had attended years ago. Some alien diplomats had hinted that humans were unpredictable, adaptable, and capable of rapid change. To them, humans were not simply another species. They were a variable that could shift the entire balance of the galaxy. She also knew that Earth had grown extremely advanced in recent decades. Their technology improved faster than most alien species expected. Humans learned quickly. They pushed limits. Maybe that was enough to make the galaxy uneasy. "Jordan," Lily said softly, "keep monitoring every transmission. I want a full pattern analysis." Yes, Commander. As she left the office, Lily felt something she rarely felt: uncertainty. The galaxy was afraid of a storm that had not even begun. Far from Earth, in a quiet research station orbiting a dying star, alien leaders from several factions met in secret. The room was dim, lit only by the blue glow of a central hollow table. Representatives of the Dominion, the Council, and the Collective stood around the table in tense silence. "We cannot allow humanity to enter the conflict," the ambassador said. His voice shook slightly. "Humans fight with emotion. They escalate quickly. If they enter, the balance is lost." The general tapped his claws on the table. "Their military is still small." "That is not what matters," the delegate replied. "What matters is their nature. Humans do not break under pressure. They adapt. They push forward. We have seen them grow faster in 50 years than other species grow in 500. The room grew silent again. Fear hung in the air. "We must watch them closely. If they take even one step into this conflict, everything changes." Back on Earth, Jordan walked through the quiet hallway leading to the observation deck. The large transparent dome above gave a clear view of the night sky. Stars shined brightly, scattered across the darkness. He stopped to look up, thinking about how small they all seemed from here. Humans were newcomers to the galactic stage. They had only built faster-than-light ships in the last 50 years. Compared to ancient alien empires, Earth was young and inexperienced. Yet somehow, that youth made aliens more nervous, not less. Jordan sat on one of the benches and watched the sky. He imagined distant battles, dying stars, and fleets moving through the darkness. He felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. What if humanity was meant to take part in something bigger? His thoughts drifted as the lights in the hall dimmed for the night cycle. He leaned back, closed his eyes, and rested for a moment. But even with his eyes closed, he could not shake the feeling that something was coming. Commander Lily Hart sat in her private quarters, reviewing data on her tablet. Her room was simple and organized. She believed in discipline and clarity, even in her living space. Everything had its place. Everything had a purpose. She read through Jordan's follow-up reports. More alien messages, more fear, more warnings. Lily set the tablet down and rubbed her temples. She knew humans had a history of surprising their enemies. On Earth, humans had survived countless wars and disasters, always finding a way to climb back. Perhaps the galaxy was right to worry. She stood and walked to the small window overlooking Earth's surface. Cities glowed softly. Life continued as usual. People slept peacefully, unaware of the growing storm. "It won't stay peaceful for long," she whispered. Beyond Earth, the outer rim continued to burn. Fleets clashed, planets fell, and refugees fled to safer territories. The war had grown far beyond a border dispute. It was turning into something greater, something dangerous. Jordan received another urgent message the next morning. He almost spilled his drink when he read it. The message came from a neutral colony named, located close to human space. They reported unusual ship movements near their territory. Unknown ships, fast ships. Jordan hurried to Lily's office. "Commander," he said breathlessly, "is reporting unidentified fleets near their borders. They think someone is preparing an attack." Lily's expression hardened, "and is close to human space." Jordan nodded. "Very close. If they fall, the war arrives at our doorstep." Lily took a deep breath. The time for watching and waiting was ending. She activated her comm line. "Send a message to Captain Morgan. Tell him to prepare a small response fleet. We cannot ignore this." Jordan felt his chest tighten. This was it, the first step. For months, the galaxy had feared the moment humans would enter the conflict. And now, humanity was about to move. In the depths of space, alien factions were already reacting. Messages spread quickly. Panic grew. Some called for preemptive strikes. Others demanded withdrawal. Humans were stepping forward. and the galaxy held its breath. Jordan stood again at the observation deck that night. He watched the stars, wondering which of them would soon witness human ships flying into battle. He felt fear, but also a strange pride. The galaxy had feared humans for so long. Now they would see why. He stood quietly as the first warning sirens echoed softly in the distant halls, signaling fleet mobilization. Lily prepared her command reports. Morgan his ship. And humanity took its first step into the conflict that would change everything. Captain Morgan stood inside the hangar bay of the Earth Defense Fleet Command Station, watching the crew prepare his ship for departure. The station was busy and alive. Engineers worked on hull plating, technicians checked power cores, and officers moved from one console to another as alert messages continued to sound throughout the wide metal halls. Everyone knew that something had changed. Earth was no longer a distant observer. The war was now close enough to reach them. Was calm, but his eyes focused on every detail. He believed that confidence came from being prepared, not from words. He had spent most of his career patrolling human borders and responding to distress signals. But this mission felt different. It felt heavier. The neutral colony had sent urgent warnings, and if those warnings were correct, then an attack was coming soon. He placed his hand on the cool surface of the ship's hull. The vessel was small compared to the giant cruisers used by alien empires, but humans had designed it with speed, flexibility, and adaptability in mind. Had learned long ago that size did not win battles, decisions did. Footsteps echoed behind him. He turned to see Commander Lily Hart approaching. She walked with purpose as always, her expression serious but steady. "Captain Morgan," she said, stopping beside him, "your fleet will be ready for launch in 2 hours. You will have 4 escort ships with you. This will not be a large force, but it will be fast." Nodded. "Fast is enough. We just need to reach before the enemy does." Lily lowered her voice. "We still don't know who the enemy is. The colony only saw unknown shapes, no identification signals, no communication attempts." Felt a small chill run through him. Unknown ships in a war zone never meant anything good. "I'll keep my guard up," he said. "We won't start a fight unless we have to, but we will defend the colony if the attack is real." Lily studied his face for a moment. This mission will be the first time humans move toward a conflict this large. Every faction in the Outer Rim will be watching. Be careful. He smiled slightly. "I will, and I'll bring everyone back." Lily returned the faint smile. "I trust you." She turned and walked toward the exit, already focused on the next task. Watched her go. He respected her greatly. She never demanded loyalty, she earned it. Far across the station, Jordan Hale sat inside the dimly lit data room, the room humming quietly with the sound of dozens of servers working simultaneously. He typed quickly, analyzing wave after wave of incoming transmissions. His eyes were red from lack of sleep, but he did not slow down. He knew that once left, his job would become even more important. He had to track the enemy. He had to identify the unknown ships. He had to warn them if anything changed. But there was something else happening too. More alien messages were arriving. Not about the war, but about humans, rumors, discussions, strategic warnings. He leaned closer to one of the screens. A message from the council said, "Humans respond faster than expected. Their reaction time is dangerous. They adapt before we predict." Jordan frowned. "How do they know that?" he whispered. Humans had barely begun to mobilize. He saved the message and moved on to another. This one came from the collective. Humans must not reach first. If they do, they will influence the colony and destabilize the region. Jordan rubbed his forehead. Why were they so worried? Earth had no plan to expand. They had no interest in controlling other species. All they wanted was peace. He kept typing, gathering every message, comparing patterns, trying to see the bigger picture. But one truth kept returning. The galaxy feared humans not for their actions, but for their potential. Meanwhile entered his ship's command center. The lights were soft, the consoles quiet, and the air smelled faintly of metal and electric charge. His first officer, Brooks, stood at her station reviewing reports. She turned as entered. "Captain," she said, nodding, "engineering is ready. The ship will be fully powered in 30 minutes. "Good," replied. "What about the escort ships?" Checked her screen again. 2 are fully ready. The other 2 need another hour. Their crews are hurrying. Sat in the command chair. It felt strangely heavy today. "We won't wait for perfection," he said. "Just stability. Tell me when all 4 are flight ready." Nodded and returned to her work. Looked at the stars through the forward window. Somewhere out there waited for help. Somewhere out there, unknown ships moved in silence. He wondered if the colony even knew who was coming. On the colony governor paced nervously inside the central tower. The sky above the planet was a calm shade of pale green, and the air smelled like fresh leaves from the large forests covering the planet's surface. It was a peaceful world, quiet and full of life. The colony had never been part of a conflict before. But now fear spread among the people. Reports of unknown ships had already reached every home. Families quietly packed emergency supplies. Children asked questions adults could not answer. The governor, a middle-aged man with tired eyes, stared at the large screen showing the orbital scanners. Small red markers blinked on the edges of the map. Ships were coming, but they were still too far to identify. He whispered to one of his aides, "Tell the people to remain calm. We have sent a message to Earth. Help is coming." The aide nodded and hurried away. Far above them, a Dominion strike fleet moved through the empty darkness of space. Their ships were sharp and angular, designed for destruction. The commander stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the stars shift as they traveled at high speed. "We'll fall quickly," he said. "No resistance expected." A junior officer approached. "Commander, reports say humans may send a small fleet." The commander growled softly. "Humans, that small species, they are not a threat." The officer hesitated. "Other factions disagree. They say humans fight unpredictably." The commander laughed. "Let them talk. We will crush the colony before humans arrive." His confidence filled the ship. Warriors prepared for battle, unaware that the galaxy's fear was not misplaced. Back on Earth, Jordan received another urgent message. It seemed normal at first, but when he opened it, his breath caught in his chest. It was a partial recording from an unknown source. The audio was damaged, but he could still hear the voice. "Humans must not interfere. Their presence changes everything." Jordan replayed it several times. Each time the warning felt heavier. He immediately sent the recording to Lily. Lily listened to the message without speaking. When it ended, she exhaled slowly. "They know something we don't," she said. Jordan nodded. "Yes, and they are afraid we will act before they are ready." Lily looked at him. "But we are already acting." Jordan felt a chill, "which means they might try to stop us." Lily stood quickly. "I need to warn." Received her message, just as the final escort ship reported ready status. Turned to him. "Captain, message from Commander Lily Hart." Opened it immediately. Lily's face appeared on the screen, serious and calm. "Be careful. There are strong signs that someone does not want humans near. They may try to intercept you before you arrive." Nodded, understood. "Don't engage unless necessary," Lily continued, "but protect the colony no matter what." The screen went dark. Looked at, so it begins. Stood, all ships prepare for launch. Engines rumbled, lights brightened, the ship hummed with energy. The hangar door slowly opened, revealing the vastness of space. Fleet rose out of the station and formed into a tight formation. The stars stretched before them like a silent path. "Set course for," ordered. The ships accelerated, moving faster and faster until the stars blurred into long streaks of white. Humanity's first step into the war had officially begun. Several hours later, as the fleet crossed into outer rim space, sensed something ahead, scanned her console. "Captain," she said quietly, "I'm detecting faint signals. They match Dominion signatures." His jaw tightened. "How many?" His eyes widened. "A large formation, at least 12 ships." Jordan, back on Earth, received the same data moments later. He typed quickly, heart racing. He sent through secure channel, "You're heading straight toward the fleet." Read the message and leaned back. So the galaxy's fear was real. The fleet was moving not just to attack, but possibly to stop humans from reaching it. Steadied his breathing. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," he said calmly. "We won't start a fight, but we won't back down either." His fleet changed course slightly, hopping to avoid direct confrontation. But the ships noticed. They accelerated. Looked at, "They're coming toward us." Nodded slowly. In the quiet darkness, two forces moved toward each other. One was a powerful alien fleet. The other was a small group of humans, stepping into a conflict for the first time. The galaxy held its breath and waited, unaware that the future of the region was about to change forever. Placed his hand on the console. "Hold formation," he said softly. His voice was calm. His mind was steady. This was only the beginning. Morgan watched the stars ahead as his fleet continued its steady but tense flight toward. The space around them was quiet, yet he knew the silence meant nothing. Somewhere in the darkness, the Dominion ships were closing in. They had not spoken, not signaled, not given any warning, but their movements were aggressive. Their intent was clear. Brooks kept monitoring the screens, her fingers moving quickly over the controls. She checked every new signal, every change in the scanners, every possible shift in the enemy's approach. "They're still behind us," she said softly, "and they're getting closer." Leaned forward in his chair. Distance. Closing from 30,000 kilometers to 25,000. They're not slowing down. Exhaled slowly. "They're testing us." Looked at him. "Why? We haven't done anything to provoke them." Shook his head. "Because we're heading to, they think we'll interfere." Back on Earth, Jordan Hale was watching live sensor data from his fleet. The moment he saw the ships closing in like a shadow, his heart raced. He opened a secure channel. "Captain Morgan," he said, breathless, "we confirm the ships are accelerating. They will be within weapons range in minutes." Responded calmly, "Understood." Jordan swallowed nervously. "They might try to push you back or intimidate you, but Captain, be careful, they're scared, and scared enemies make dangerous decisions." Nodded. "I know, thanks, Jordan." After ending the call, Jordan leaned back in his chair, feeling helpless. He could see the danger coming, but he could not stop it. He could only warn them. Commander Lily Hart stepped into the data room and saw the tension on Jordan's face. "Is it the fleet?" she asked. Jordan nodded. "Yes, they're almost on top of Scroop." Lily stepped closer. "Has the Dominion ever acted like this before toward any neutral fleet?" Jordan shook his head. "Never without a warning. They're treating humans like a threat before a fight has even started." Lily's eyes narrowed. "Because they expect humans to change the conflict." On ship, the moment arrived. Said quietly, "Open visual channel." A large display lit up at the front of the command center, showing the ships breaking through the dark. Their hulls were sharp and metallic, glowing faintly with red engines. They flew in an aggressive formation, closing distance with purpose. A communication alert triggered. "Checked it, it's them." "Put it through," said. The screen flickered and the image of a commander appeared. He had dark scales, burning yellow eyes, and a voice that rumbled like thunder. "Human fleet," he growled, "you are entering restricted space. Turn back immediately." stood straight. "This is Captain Morgan of the Earth Defense Fleet. We are responding to a distress call from the neutral colony. We have no intention of entering territory." The commander snarled. "Your presence is an act of interference. You will leave this region." Kept his voice steady. "We cannot ignore a colony asking for help. They are unarmed and peaceful." "That colony will soon belong to us," the commander said. "You will not interfere." Folded his hands behind his back. "We don't seek conflict, but we won't abandon innocent lives." The commander's eyes narrowed. "Humans do not understand galactic order. You adapt too fast. You disrupt balance. The moment you step into this war, everything changes." Paused, absorbing the words. The fear Jordan had seen in the messages was now spoken aloud. The commander continued, "This is your only warning. Turn back." The communication cut abruptly. "Turn 2, they're getting into attack formation." Nodded, "Hold our course." Blinked, "Captain." "I said hold," repeated calmly. "No weapons, no sudden moves." The human fleet kept flying. The ships grew closer, their formation tightening like a predator preparing to strike. A silence filled the command room. Everyone waited. Then the ship surged forward. "Impact in 10 seconds, said. But the ships didn't fire. They passed dangerously close, so close the screens shook from the energy waves. They were trying to intimidate the humans. Once the ships completed their pass, they moved ahead and blocked the path. Exhaled, "They're trying to force us to turn back." Stared at the display quietly. "Prepare for evasive maneuver pattern 3. We don't fire, we don't escalate, but we don't retreat." Nodded. The human fleet broke formation slightly and adjusted their path, trying to slip around the blockade. The ships moved again, following them. Kept his voice steady. "Bring us 50 kilometers around their left flank." Executed the command. The ships responded again. Jordan watched from Earth, his hands shaking. "They're trying to box you in," he whispered. He could see the pattern now. The Dominion did not want humans anywhere near this conflict. Tried again, shifting course. The ships shifted with him. Looked at him anxiously. "If they keep blocking us, we'll reach a point where we can't avoid a clash." Didn't answer immediately. He was thinking. Then he stood. "I'm going to talk to them again." Nodded and opened the channel. The commander appeared again, this time looking more irritated. "Human captain," he said, "your persistence is dangerous." Met his eyes. "We're not here for war. Allow us to assist the colony. If you plan to take, that's between you and the colony's leaders, but we won't let civilians die." The commander hissed. "You do not understand how fragile the balance is. Your presence shifts it. Humans break patterns. You change outcomes." Felt the weight of the words. So this was why the galaxy was afraid. The commander continued. "If you continue, we will destroy your fleet to prevent your interference." His eyes widened. Stayed calm. "We won't fire unless fired upon." The commander leaned forward. "Then you may not survive." The channel closed again. The ship spread out, surrounding the human fleet. Whispered, "Captain, what do we do now?" Closed his eyes for a moment. Then he spoke. "We move forward, slow but forward." Stared at him. "They'll think we're provoking them." Opened his eyes. "If we turn back now, we're telling the entire galaxy that humans can be pushed around, that we'll abandon innocent lives, that fear controls us." He looked straight at her. "We don't start war, but we don't run from it either." Nodded slowly. The human fleet began moving again. The ships reacted immediately, closing the circle around them. Jordan on Earth typed furiously. "They're surrounding you completely. They're preparing a lock." Responded, "Stay on the line, Jordan. If anything changes, alert us." But Jordan already saw something terrifying. The ships were charging their weapons. Jordan shouted into the screen. They're powering weapons systems. On ship, alarms began to ring. His voice shook. Captain, they're locking targets. Stood tall, maintain course. His officers looked at him in shock. Whispered, sir. His voice remained firm. Maintain course. The ships flew forward. The ships aimed. Jordan watched helplessly. Suddenly, something unexpected happened. The ships hesitated. Their weapons stayed charged but did not fire. Looked closer at her screen. They're stopping. Why? The ship slowed down, holding position. Narrowed his eyes. And then the reason appeared. A new fleet entered the area from the opposite side. A huge one. Ships belonging to the collective. Gasped another faction. His jaw tightened. Jordan on Earth saw the same thing. Lily Hart rushed into the data room. What is that? Jordan pointed at the screen. The fleet just arrived. They're taking formation, opposite the ships. Lily stepped closer. They're not allies, they're enemies. Two alien fleets now faced each other, with humans in the middle. Felt the tension rise like a wire pulled tight. Whispered, we're trapped. Stood tall, opened channels to both fleets. Obeyed. Two commanders appeared on split screen. The commander on the left. The commander on the right. Both stared at. The commander spoke first. Human captain, withdraw. This conflict does not concern you. The commander growled. Do not speak to him. Humans are dangerous. They cannot be trusted. The commander frowned. Dangerous, yes, which is why we cannot let them fall into your manipulation. The two alien leaders began arguing with each other, voices rising. Watched in confusion. Jordan watched in shock. Lily whispered, so that's it. Jordan turned, what? Lily said, both sides fear humans, but for different reasons. Back in space, the fleets shifted positions. Realized the truth. They're not here to fight each other. Looked at him, then why are they here? Stared at the screen. They're here because of us. Both alien fleets had come not to battle, but to ensure humans did not step into the conflict. Whispered, Captain, what do we do now? Took a breath. We go to. Stared but. Continued at slow pace, not aggressive, not retreating. Humanity would not start the war. But they would not be stopped by fear. The human fleet began moving again. And the galaxy watched. The ships moved to block the. The ships moved to block the. But no one fired. Because firing would start a war that none of them wanted. Jordan stared at the map. They're letting us through. Lily leaned closer. Not letting us. They're too afraid to be the first to attack humans. His fleet slipped between two massive alien armadas. Whispered, this is impossible. Replied, this is humanity's first step. And as the human fleet passed through the space between two great powers, the galaxy realized the truth. Humans were no longer observers. They were now part of the conflict. And nothing would ever be the same. The human fleet continued moving slowly toward. The space around them was silent, but the pressure was heavy. Two powerful alien fleets had stepped aside and allowed the humans to pass. It was something no one expected. It was something no one could explain easily. The galaxy had feared that humans would change the conflict, and now the fear was becoming real. Captain Morgan watched the stars ahead. His ship glided gently through the calm, and every officer on board worked with quiet focus. No one spoke loudly. No one relaxed. Everyone felt the weight of the moment. Brooks kept her eyes on her console. Captain, we are 20 minutes away from orbit. Nodded. Any sign of enemy ships near the colony? Shook her head. Not yet, but the colony scanners are weak. We will know more once we get closer. Leaned back in his chair and took a slow breath. This mission was supposed to be simple. The plan was only to respond to a distress call, but the galaxy's reaction had turned it into something much bigger. The N had both attempted to block them. The moment humans stepped into the war zone, the entire region reacted. Didn't know if that was good or dangerous. Maybe it was both. On Earth, Jordan Hale sat in the data room with a dozen screens open. The room hummed with energy from the cooling systems. Jordan had spent the entire night analyzing patterns, messages, and movements from every faction in the region. He rubbed his tired eyes. "Commander Hart, everything is changing faster than our predictions." Lily Hart stood beside him, arms folded as she studied the incoming signals. Her face remained calm, but inside she felt the same tension everyone else did. "Show me the new data," she said. Jordan tapped a key. Several message logs appeared. "These are fresh communications between Outer Rim factions. They're all talking about the human fleet. Look." Lily read the first message. Humans passed between and without either side firing. Their presence forced a standoff. She read another. "The arrival of humans is destabilizing. Do not engage them. Do not provoke them." Jordan took a short breath. "Commander, they're not just worried. They're scared. They don't want to shoot first because they think it will start something they can't control." Lily nodded. That fear might be the only thing keeping alive right now. Jordan turned to her slowly. "What if both fleets follow too?" Lily felt a chill. "Then we could have a conflict with three sides in one place, and humanity will be right in the center of it." In space, fleet finally began approaching the green and blue world of. It was beautiful from orbit. Wide green forests covered most of the surface, with pale rivers and lakes reflecting the sunlight. The colony's main city spread across a valley near the western coast. Lights glowed softly from the structures, showing signs of life. Stared at her screen. "Captain, I'm detecting damaged structures in the colony, scorch marks, but no large-scale destruction." Leaned forward. "So the attack has started." Shook her head. "It looks more like warning shots. They scared the colony, but they didn't invade yet." Felt a small relief. "Good, we might be able to avoid a battle." A communication request appeared on console. "It's from," she said. "Put it through," replied. The screen opened, showing the colony governor. His face appeared tired and tense, but also relieved. "Captain Morgan," he said, "thank you for coming. We didn't think anyone would reach us in time." Nodded. "Are you all safe?" "For now," the governor said. "The unknown ship stayed in high orbit. They fired a few shots near the surface, but not at us. They were sending a message." Frowned. "What message?" The governor looked down. "They want us to surrender. They said the colony will be taken by force if we refuse." Glanced at. "This sounds like strategy." The governor continued. "We have no defenses strong enough to fight them. We hoped Earth might help us negotiate or at least evacuate the families." His face softened. "We will protect you. Stay calm. Keep your people inside the shelters for now." The governor nodded gratefully. "Thank you. We are ready for instructions." The screen closed. Looked at. "If they are planning an attack, they'll come soon." Stood. "Then we need to prepare." Jordan, back on Earth, suddenly noticed something on his sensors. "Commander Hart," he said quickly, "I'm detecting new movement in the fleet. They're breaking formation and heading toward." Lily leaned in. "How many ships?" Jordan typed rapidly. "At least 9, and the fleet is responding too. They're also moving in that direction." Lily's eyes widened. "Both fleets are heading straight toward." Jordan whispered, "This is going to become a three-way conflict." Lily shook her head slowly. "No, this is something worse. This is everyone trying to stop humans from taking a side." On ship, new alarms began to trigger. Turned sharply. "Captain, ships are entering nearby space. They'll reach orbit in minutes." His heart tightened, and the checked again, also inbound. The crew stared in silence. Walk to the center of the room. Listen carefully. We will not fire first, but we will protect the colony." The officers nodded. "Looked at, prepare defensive shields. Keep weapons cold but ready." Outside, the first warships burst out of faster-than-light travel. Their engines glowed bright red. Their hulls were battle and full of sharp edges. They took formation near the colony. Moments later, the ships emerged as well. Sleek, silver, and quiet, they moved like shadows toward the conflict zone. S fleet now stood between the colony and two powerful alien armadas. Whispered, "Captain, we're surrounded again." Nodded, "Yes, but this time we're not moving." A communication alert sounded from both alien fleets. Looked at him, which one first? Took a breath, opened both at the same time. Two faces appeared on the screen. The commander. The commander. Both angry, both tense. The commander spoke first. "Human captain, withdraw. You have no authority here." The commander interrupted, "Leave at once. Your presence will start a war." Stood with calm strength. "We are here to protect the colony. They asked for help." The commander growled, "They will submit to us." The commander said, "We will not allow expansion, but we also will not allow humans to become involved." Lifted his chin. "You have both attacked this region. You have both ignored its neutrality. If you want to fight each other, that is your choice, but you will not harm civilians." The commander bared his teeth. "You cannot stop us." Replied, "You don't want to find out if we can." The commander stepped forward. "Human captain, your species is unstable. Your presence makes conflicts unpredictable." Answered, "If protecting innocent lives makes us unpredictable, then so be it." The screen went dark. Looked at him with fear. "Captain, they're preparing weapons." Nodded, "All ships raise shields. Do not fire unless fired upon." The ships moved closer. The ships shifted into attack positions. For several seconds, no one moved. Then the fired first. A blast of red plasma shot toward the colony. Shouted, targeting the colony. "They're aiming to force surrender." Reacted instantly, intercepted. A human escort ship burst forward, its shields flaring as it blocked the shot. The entire ship shook from the impact. A second blast came. Shouted, "Maneuver pattern 2." Worked fast, and the flagship shifted position, placing itself between the colony and the attackers. Human shields glowed bright as they absorbed the hit. Alarms rang. The ships reacted too. But instead of firing at the humans, they fired at the ships. Bright beams cut across space. The ships returned fire. In seconds, a massive battle erupted between the two alien fleets. S fleet remained in the center, shielding the colony. Shouted, "Captain, our shields are failing. We can't hold forever." Stood firm, "We don't need forever, we just need long enough." Jordan watched the chaos from Earth. "Commander Hart," he said urgently, "S fleet is taking fire from both sides." Lily spoke firmly. "Send a message to all factions in the region. Tell them Earth is not leaving. Tell them this is a humanitarian mission. If they continue firing, they will be responsible for starting a galaxy-wide war." Jordan hesitated. "Will that work?" "It has to," Lily said. He sent the message. In space, both alien fleets received it. The commander growled with frustration. The commander looked uneasy. Neither wanted a galaxy-wide war. The firing slowed. Then stopped. The two fleets drifted apart. Gasped softly, "They're disengaging." Watched the screens carefully. The ships slowly retreated from the colony's orbit. The ships moved away as well. No one fired. Then, one by one, the alien fleets jumped out of the system. Silence returned. Sat down exhausted. "Captain, we did it." Nodded quietly. "The colony is safe." The governor contacted them again, his voice filled with relief and tears. "Captain Morgan, thank you. You saved us." Smiled a little. "You asked for help, we answered." Back on Earth, Lily Hart watched the final reports arrive. Jordan whispered, "Commander, humans just forced 2 major fleets to retreat without firing a shot." Lily smiled softly. The galaxy feared the humans. Today they learned why. The people came out of shelters and looked up to the sky. The human ships hovered above them, protecting them. Children pointed. Families embraced. They knew they had survived because humanity chose to stand with them. In space, fleet began repair work. There was damage, there were injuries, but they had held the line. Looked at what happens now. Looked at the peaceful planet below. "Now," he said softly, "the galaxy knows that humans don't look for war." He paused. "But we won't run from it either." It was the end of this conflict's beginning, and the beginning of a new chapter for humanity. The day humans stepped into the conflict, everything changed. For the galaxy, and for the future that waited just beyond the stars.